Bob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, glazed and confused. That's how many of us are after 2 winter storms in 1 week produce icing conditions across Acadiana Friday and then again today. Good news is milder temperatures on the way. Bad news, road conditions and travel remains quite hazardous at least through tomorrow morning. And we're going to have very limited melting, if much at all, during the day tomorrow. And we go back below freezing tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that in just a bit. First off, though, as we take a look at the Doppler, you'll still notice plenty of echoes, but we're hitting a lot of snow that is actually evaporating now before it's hitting the ground. That's why it kind of circles around us. It is very dry off to the north, so we don't see that pattern to the north. And all of this is not reaching the ground for the most part, with the exception as you get into Terrebonne Parish, where ice continues over toward Houma as well. The rest of Acadiana pretty much in the clear, at least precipitation-wise, but a lot of that clear stuff frozen on the ground will stay with us through at least mid-morning tomorrow. A little melting tomorrow afternoon, but I think things stay pretty icy through tomorrow night into Thursday morning, although we'll get what we call some sublimation, some evaporation of the ice off of the ground during the day tomorrow as dry air stays with us, and maybe a little sun during the day tomorrow as well. So let's kick it upstairs and take a look at the radar satellite composite. We have a loop here going for 24 hours, and this winter storm going all the way up through the east coast, and we had precipitation developing shortly after about 3 o'clock last night in the northern parishes, and then gradually working its way southward throughout the day. A lot of us thought we might not see the icing farther to the south, but everybody getting a fairly good glaze of anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch, much higher amounts to the north, and we'll talk more about that in just a bit. Cloud cover lingering behind all of this, mainly high cloud cover up toward Alexandria, but I think the clouds are going to kind of hurt us on trying to warm up at least tomorrow morning. Hopefully a little sunshine tomorrow afternoon. So weather headlines, again, second winter storm in a week, a big glazing across all of Acadiana with higher accumulations to the north, up to 2 inches of snow mixed with sleet accumulating across the northern parishes of Acadiana. And as we indicated, hazardous travel conditions likely through midday tomorrow. And because a lot of you, I'm very proud, a lot of you stayed indoors today. We haven't had much traffic on the roadway. And because of that, the roads are just as icy or even icier this evening. So be very careful. And again, don't venture out tomorrow morning until at least the sun gets out and we have some afternoon melting going on, but I think it stays icy through Thursday morning for sure. 27 degrees right now. Temperatures have been holding nearly steady. Still a breeze out of the north, keeping the wind chills in the mid-teens this evening. That hasn't changed. Wind chills have been between 10 and 15 all day long. At least we do think the wind will gradually diminish tonight. Temperatures stay in the 20s, dropping into the upper teens, we think, up towards central Louisiana. Here's the significant snowfall. That was mainly across the northernmost parishes of Acadiana, where several inches fell. Most of us seeing a glaze of about 1/4 to 1/2 inch along and north of I-10, with higher amounts as you went farther to the north, and just an icy mess as we went farther to the south. Not much snow at all, mostly sleet, freezing rain, and because we had this warm layer just about 2,000 to 3,000 feet above the surface, where the snow that fell melted and then refroze on the way down over the last couple of thousand feet or on the ground. That's why we had such icy conditions that continue off to the east as well. Some big snows across portions of the deep south that rarely see it. So here we go with your futurecast, indicating cloud cover sticking around through tomorrow morning. Temperatures lower 20s, partly sunny skies tomorrow. Again, we don't get above the freezing mark until after 11 o'clock in the morning. So travel is going to be very hazardous tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll see temperatures in the 30s, but below freezing again by this time tomorrow night. So whatever moisture is out there will likely refreeze, but again, some drying will occur. Temperatures tonight, lower 20s, we'll say low to mid 20s along the coast, upper teens as you get up towards Senlaw. And then tomorrow, finally, temperatures getting a little bit above freezing, but just for a few hours. So again, not much melting going on tomorrow. Tomorrow night we'll go a little bit below the guidance, so we say mid 30s for a high tomorrow. Tomorrow night, lower 20s once again. But Thursday, we see plenty of sun. Temperatures warm nicely into the 50s. It's hard to believe 50s actually sounds warm, but it certainly is compared to what we have seen so far this winter. So hazardous conditions on the roadways continue. 21 the low. That's pipe busting cold, so make sure you have the pipes taken care of and drain the water out. Do not run the water because in this type of weather pattern we have fires and you can't lower the water pressures locally. Then for tomorrow, temperatures above freezing around noon. We hope temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 30s tomorrow. 50s for Thursday, 60s for Friday, and believe it or not, we'll have 70 Saturday before the next front gets here, but the next front won't be nearly as cold. It'll be cool and maybe even getting a little stormy. Severe weather pattern perhaps as we go into next Tuesday, but the near term in the deep freeze.
Yeah, what are the chances of this too? It's remarkable, isn't it?
You look at the number of freezes we've had, the number of times we've gone below 25, and then 2 winter storms in a week. Probably the most severe winter Acadiana has seen in the last 30 years or so.
And it was so mild up to this, and then it's like all of a sudden payback for the past
winter.
2 months.
It's cold weather. It does change and is variable from winter to winter. Last year we only had 3 freezes and temperatures never went below 30, so it can change on any given year.
We'll think about this day coming up in August.
Yeah, exactly right. Think those thoughts, right.
Thanks, Rob. Well, still ahead right here on KATC. Other headlines to get to. An officer-involved shooting at a high school in Hawaii. We'll tell you what happened there at 10:28. Also, ticket prices are down for this weekend's Super Bowl, but why officials